Are we coming to a more peaceful time on the homestead? December 6th, it's morning on the farm. And I will admit, for us, morning is not early. I mean, it's 9:30 by the time I come out to do chores. Our animals just work on that schedule. We're not early riser homesteaders, that's for sure. But today is the first day that I'm going to say it actually feels peaceful on the homestead. So I think we're just going to take a moment and enjoy this. Today is supposed to be raining, but it's not yet. The geese are still enjoying the front lawn. How wild is that? They are grazing and enjoying this. This is our just one group. The other group goes out to the pasture still. The winter birds are here. We hear chickadees, nuthatches, things like that. Although good intentions are always on our plans, there's still much that needs to be planted, cleaned up, processed into something usable for winter. Our celery here, which we've been covering overnight, it's looking a little worse for wear, but it's still going. And if we get some of those branches off, the discussion is maybe we'll take some of this inside since it's still growing. Kale. We actually got this up and over here built on Sunday. We're going to do the same thing as what we've got on the other one in the hopes that this kale here will last for seed. The rest of it, as you can see, is just kind of being left, and we're picking at it as we can, feeding it to bunnies. Bunnies even love it when it gets all dried and crusty like this after being frozen. But mostly today has just been relaxed. Look at these girls. I think we've finally mastered keeping them happy for the winter because they haven't said boo this morning. They didn't even go for the hay that I've put out. So I think we've finally gotten to the point that they realize they're not going back to pasture. They're finally eating enough hay, and we're feeding just the right amount to keep everybody sweet. But I will say there is something about coming out in the morning to do chores and not having a bunch of sheep baaing at you. It's so peaceful and relaxed, and I think that's the trigger this morning. Is something has changed with the sheep. Maybe most of them are bred now, so that's kind of changed it, and obviously we've hit the right amount for food, and everybody's just kind of realizing winter's coming. But peaceful times, hopefully some more relaxed, quiet times are coming. These two fluffy beasts are certainly ready for winter. Hey girls. I do love having the ponies completely, for lack of a better way to put it, useless on the homestead at the moment, but there's something enjoyable about them, similar to having a pet cat or a dog. And you know what? They're not that expensive, and they have their purposes during pasture season. Hey, Peppy, show them your cute little pony fluff ball ears. Look at that, aren't they just so cute? Hi, Pep. Hey, you. She's got the cutest little fluff ears. Oh, you're cute too, Mandy. But not as cute as Peppy. Comes the second group of geese coming out to go on the pasture. Come on, gang. I noticed yesterday that Phoebe was starting to molt. And boy, she's molting fast. To be honest, when I came and let them out yesterday morning, I thought something may have gotten one of them because there was so many feathers out. But Phoebe is a long layer, very, very fast molter. And I'm betting she'll be naked in a week, but then it'll start coming back. Breakfast time on the homestead. Hi, girls and boy. Today, we're cleaning out this coop. But first, we're going to check and see if we got any eggs. Oh my goodness. I will admit, I hadn't been checking because everybody was molting and nobody was laying. Good thing nobody decided to sit. 7 eggs in there. That's awesome. And that's ahead of schedule because usually we don't see them really start laying again until after Christmas. Sweet. The eggs are just falling out of the coop. Open the door and out they roll. Time to get these girls a nest box. This is our oldest group of birds born this year, and they are starting to lay really, really well on, December 8th. So that is super wonderful and early. But they're looking super healthy and just gorgeous specimens of the partridge chronicler. In total, 11 eggs today. Not too bad. Super impressed with that. Almost a dozen. They're a little on the dirty side, but like I said, it's coop clean out day, and we need to get these girls back with some nest boxes because they're just kind of laying them willy-nilly all over the coops. So, well, we still have tons of kale in the garden, which is awesome because today I'm going to feed kale to the rabbits. But not from this patch. Not even from that patch. I'm going to pick some kale from this patch. Right along the fence here, because we really don't want this growing back here next year. So we're going to keep going on picking it. I picked a whole bunch and dried it in the house for powder, for soups and stews and things like that. We even actually tried a kale smoothie. It was awesome. So yay on that. So basically, each bunny gets a pretty hefty handful of kale in the morning, and then they'll get a half portion of pellets in the evening. But impressively, we have been doing this almost all summer, and it's now into mid-December, and we're still doing it. The kale has been amazingly productive this year. Trying to get this group of geese to use the pond has been kind of fun. They don't get it. But in all fairness, they were raised without a pond. They had a little pool. So some of them get it, some of them not so much. Well, before I start cleaning out chicken coops, I'm going to plant my strawberries. I'm super excited about this because we got these strawberries like 2 months ago. And I had the best intentions of getting them planted in the raised beds, but I hadn't got it sorted out. And luckily enough, the weather has held to make it that I can get this done. So first step was pulling all the weeds out of the bed, which I did. But unfortunately, without the weeds in there, I need to get some dirt. So I'm doing a blend of some sandy kind of topsoil from behind the barn with the good old composted manure. Let me show you. So there you can kind of see them side by side. So here is the already composted sandy soil from behind the barn. Basically, we're pretty sure that the people who used to own this, that had the horses, kept their animals in a little pen behind the barn. And so there was a lot of broken down compost in there as well. And over the years, it's just kind of become dirt mixed with sand. And then on this side, we have our broke down compost, which, as you can see, has broke down amazingly. The pile is kind of always here by the rabbits behind the barn because when I do clean out the litter boxes, as you can see, there's a couple turned over there. I toss the rabbit litter in here, but the rabbit litter can be used right away, so it doesn't really matter. But most of what you're seeing in here is old broke down manure when we've cleaned out the horses' stalls or the sheep. So it always pays to have a compost pile. So there's my 4x4 bed that I'm going to plant my strawberries in. This is purely a propagation type bed. We want to plant them. Obviously we'll get some berries, but for the most part, we're hoping to get them to spread so we can expand and have a bigger patch. As you can see, after pulling all the weeds, we have lost a lot of dirt in here. So my compost mixture is about to go in. So there's my plan. We bought these 10 strawberries this fall. It was a fantastic discount at our local feed store, and we couldn't pass it up. I think the 10 of them came to $8.99. They were like, I don't know, maybe it was $12.99. I can't remember. But anyways, they were like $1 something each and 90% off. So why not? Now, we don't have a type on this. They're just an ever-bearing strawberry. So we're going to give it a shot because at that price, why not? And we'll see what goes. But we did get a few strawberries off these in the fall, and they were delicious, very sweet, very tasty. A little small, but that's okay because sometimes small does better. Yay, all planted. Now I do have to mulch these yet, and then I do have a cover that I'm going to put on because I really want these to make it and do well next year. So going to baby them a little bit, and then it'll be survival of the fittest after that. But super pleased to have them planted. Still lots to plant from our haul this fall. Well, it's Saturday on the homestead, and as always, stuff to get done. Today we are hoping to finish up windows on the barn. I don't think we've ever really talked about the windows on the barn, but basically there were none. So I'm going to show you how far we've gotten so far this week. We've kind of been working at nighttime and doing one at a time, so it's been dark and hard to film. But today is sunny, even though it is really chilly. We had minus 13 Celsius last night, so it's a little chilly this morning. As you can see, the breath is definitely fogging it up, but I'll show you these windows. So basically, this is our third winter here on the homestead. And for the first 2 winters, we didn't have windows. What we did was vapor barrier. We basically just stapled and kept stapling, and as it blew off or ripped, we just put another layer over top. Surprisingly, that's what the people before had done. Vapor barrier, just with some nice pretty wood trim. But you know what? It doesn't let the light in, and it really was ineffective and kind of, well, we figured we could do better. So we've discovered that we absolutely love this corrugated polycarbonate greenhouse plastic. It's a little bit pricier than the cheaper plastic, but we love that it's got a bit better profile than the cheaper stuff. So we feel it will last longer in the long run. But all in all, it's certainly helping with the drafts inside. We're not going to have snow in the winter this year because so far we've almost got all the north side done. All right, Chris, it's demo time.
Yeah. Taking apart the retrofits. This one had at one point 2 layers of this stuff on it, which is interesting. And they're nailed. Yay.
It's always fun to take something apart and make it better.
So we now have our, I guess, cleats, whatever you'd call it. These are made for these panels. On a window this size, do we really need it? Probably not. You could have just screwed it over top, but this will give us a little bit of a degree of filling some of the gaps, because we actually didn't put these spacers that we've got on the side on the other ones. But one of the things that we like about this material for this use, this is the same material we used on our greenhouse build for the roof, is you can overlap them. And these are funny size windows, which is why we went with these polycarbonate panels, because to be honest, it's just a heck of a lot easier to retrofit what's existing with those, overlap the panels a bit, and block the wind and get some more light in. So last step, and then we'll have the entire north side of the barn retrofitted with new sort of window coverings, is to put the panels on. Because our prevailing wind comes from the west, so kind of coming at me, we always make sure this panel, which is on the west side, overlaps the other panel so that the wind can't get under there and pull it open. So we're going to go ahead and get this on. And there we go. With that window right there in the center view finished, we have now completed a very long overdue job of replacing some windows on the north side of our barn. And it's going to make a huge difference this winter. And of course, on the complete flip side of things, just not getting done, this is one of our gates to our garden. And as you can see, we've taken the whole frame off because for the last 2 years, this frame moved with us and it's just been tied to these fence posts. And we never bothered to fix it. We have a plan, we've just never done it, and it needs to be lifted up now because with the ground freezing and snow coming, it's sunk a little bit into the ground, and so we've got to do a temporary fix for this just to get us through the winter. So maybe in the spring of 2023 we'll actually get to finishing some of this garden fence, but we'll see if that happens.
And we hate temporary.
But yet it always seems to be the way to get through the seasons.
Well, it is time for getting a tree. It's pretty breezy out here, so we'll see what we can film, but I'm going to show you the field of trees we've got to choose from. Is everybody excited?
It's big.
It's a big field.
And my hat's, I'm pretty sure, messed up.
Let's take a look.
There's so many trees.
Look at all the trees.
Ooh, a bench.
And we have to find the perfect tree. Alex has got one here. We kind of think maybe. She says love at first sight. I don't know if we're 100% sold on it, because what kind of tree do you like, Daddy-O?
Sometimes blue spruce.
Blue spruce. So we're not gonna cancel them out. We're gonna go check them out first.
It's so tall.
It's tall, but it's so skinny. No, let's keep looking.
Oh my gosh, Mom, look! It's perfect! It's perfect! See? It's so that it's fat enough, okay? It's perfect! No, Alex.
No.
Yes!
So it looks like we may have found the one, eh, Alex?
Yeah.
I still think it's too tall, but we'll make it work.
No, it's not too tall because you're gonna have to cut off a bunch of that bottom.
Yeah, last year it was too short. You said it was too tall. Oh, they're all too tall. No, they were all too short.
Yeah, we're taking it. We're gonna do it.
All right.
All right, let's go for it because my hand is freezing. It might be sunny, but it is cold. Well, as we approach the end of the week, it's Sunday afternoon, and what are we doing? 2 weeks before Christmas, it's time for the tree. You saw yesterday we went and got it. You can go ahead and put the stuff on while I'm talking. And it's being decorated up. This is a wonderful tradition that we have, and every year everybody gets a Christmas decoration for Christmas. And you can see we've got Minecraft for James, we've got Star Wars for Chris, we've got, what are these called? Trolls.
What's her face?
Trolls for Alex, and I don't think any of mine are out yet. but I love my butterflies. These are something that has to go on the tree every year, and some years we have Chris's birds, but you'll have to stay tuned next year to see those because they were on last year. So it's butterflies this year, front and center. My favorite color, the beautiful purple butterfly.